What's up, son?
What's up, son?
Here we are.
We're back on the podcast.
The morning
today.
show.
We're doing a morning show this time.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to take a minute before we get started
Mm-hmm.
and say good morning.
Good morning.
And take a moment and like and subscribe this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Share that with your friends. We are been thinking about the podcast a lot lately and how we can change things up. So we would love to hear some suggestions. So leave us a comment.
Yes, indeed.
I think we got some stuff to talk about. Joey's actually got something really interesting to talk about today, and I'm actually excited to hear about this. So look on his face, though, kind of worries me. So I'm like, not real sure what's going on there. But I hoping to, here in the next couple of episodes, talk about a little bit more about the state of comic books and where it's at and maybe where it's heading. Been listening to some other podcasts, reading some articles, and some not so favorable.
Right.
But just want to give you kind of an update on where things kind of are, what you can do better, what we can do better, what the industry could probably do better, and we'll go from there. But that's not today.
That's not today.
It's not
Okay.
today. We may get into it. We may touch on it a little bit, but I definitely want to try. I watched or listened to a really good podcast with Managed Comics, our comic book subscription service.
Yes.
And he addressed some points that we often deal with, and I kind of want to get into those. But I've invited him to be on our show via probably Zoom. So we'll
that'll be fun.
Wait to hear back from him and see if that comes down. If not, we'll just move on without him. But that may be an upcoming episode. But first of all, Joey, talk to me about. Apparently, you had a interesting dream last night.
I did. One for the ages.
Did it involve any art germ art?
It did not.
That's no good.
Yeah, no art germ art. But some familiar faces and names and places showed up.
It's interesting how that works.
It really is how it all comes together. It's crazy with dreams though too. It seems like with mine, and especially dreams like these, my brain does not work like that when I'm awake. I could not have ever put anything together like that.
I leave us a comment. Tell us what your craziest dream has ever been.
Exactly.
I dream every night. I know I do. And
do you remember them?
I remember them pretty instantaneously, but almost as quickly as I wake up, I start to forget. And I think that's pretty normal. I haven't really done a lot of research into dreamscapes and, that whole, people who really get into that stuff and what does it mean, all these things. But yeah, I do remember them to a degree. I remember the feelings of them more than I remember the actual events.
Yeah. So. I think you have to, like I did. You should have seen me.
I did this one. I did that once.
Written down.
Yeah.
You did?
I did that once. I had a dream and I wrote it down.
Do you think there's anything to dreams outside of just your mind?
Yeah, I do.
Back?
I do, but I can't explain it.
You can't explain
not
it?
Scientifically or even rationally.
Right.
Or even like hypothetically, I don't think I could put some kind of a thing on. But yeah. I do think there's something to it. Your subconscious works in such weird ways.
Right.
It's almost like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to get on here and try to talk like.
But I know. But it's just like, do you think it's like dreams are it's a realm, or it's a channel for things to communicate with you that you otherwise could not, being awake?
I want to say I don't want to I don't want to say no, but I want to say yes and yes. That's it, like instinctively I want to say yes. I think that's what that is.
I've always wondered that. Yeah.
Do you ever like fly in your dreams or anything like that?
I don't think I've ever flown, but I've been able to jump far distances.
Yeah. I have flown in my dreams, and some people say that's actually your soul actually is out exploring.
Okay.
But.
Well, I'm skipping to my loo throughout my dreams, so I guess
I have
something.
There are times when I can lucidly make myself levitate.
Okay.
Like if I want to go something, I can. There's a procedure I can make myself do, where I can literally make myself weightless and do it. It's actually
Do you have to be asleep to make it? Make
I
that
mean, I don't
happen?
physically get up and do it. It's just in my dreams.
No, I know, but I mean, like you talk about like loose, like you are aware enough in your dreams, to say, okay, I'm going to do this now and do it. When you say lucidly, I guess,
and sometimes it's difficult. Like I actually can't do it. Like I try and I can't.
Yeah.
So
are you ever like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep and then
no, I don't ever do that. No.
I'm going to turn this on.
I usually just kind of. I've never been able to say, all right, I'm going to go dream like this.
Okay.
It's like I kind of just leave it up to fate to choose what it's going to happen.
All right.
But dreaming is a sort of a recurring theme in the current family because I never really talked to Toby about it much. But I know Brian does have like very specific dreams. My mom has almost like very specific dreams, like almost premonition types. And I've had moments in my life where I'm like, man, I've been in this situation before,
right.
And I know that I've dreamed it before. I don't remember when I dreamed it or when, but I know it's like it came from I had like a memory of it from a dream is basically what I'm thinking.
You'd have to go way back in our podcast. We talked about this.
We did.
Story, yeah, when I was in Oklahoma and went to a place that I completely remember in a dream when I was a kid.
We talked about this on the podcast?
Yeah.
Was it back in the garage days?
Might have been, or it was early, like one of these.
Gosh, I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah. So,
cool. All right. So the anticipation is building.
So this dream from last night.
Yeah.
And again, you should have seen me trying to put this into my app at 4 a.m.
And Sarah was like, what are you doing? Were you talking to it?
I was trying to talk to it, and then I was like, oh, man, that's not right. And, I could see it just enough to – so even today I had to get up and clean this up because I was like, what did I say there? So –
Joey editing early in the morning.
Oh, man, I'll tell you. So, all right, so the scene is Camp LaJoy. And this is a place that's deep. It's a group camp that used to go in the Northside days. It's a youth camp.
It's a real place.
It's a real place.
Okay.
And all of these are real places for the most part. That there's a lot of teleporting that happens in the dreams. Like all of a sudden you're just here. You open a door and okay. This is a familiar door,
yeah.
Like
that happens a lot. I do that. I do that.
You teleport,
yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on.
Okay.
But anyway, Camp LaJoy arrived there on a bus. This is deep in the woods of the Chickasaw State Park, Western Tennessee.
That old 16 passenger bus that Northside used to have.
I don't know if it was that one. It was a bus though.
Yeah, right, bus.
That one's a little foggy on that detail, but yeah, it's a bus. So we arrive. And I'm going to have to read some of this just because, and everything's familiar. The mess hall, the basketball court, the lake, the cabins, all the bunks and all that stuff. So first day, after lights out, after we get everything set up, all the counselors, there's a party.
Yeah.
Here comes the alcohol. Comes out in the mess hall. And we're like, okay, all right, well we're going to do this. And so we're all having a good time. You're not there. It's just people that are just people. Sarah was there, and Reese Gaines was there, much to my surprise, which it turns out is probably my favorite Louisville basketball player that's ever played.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And so Reese Gaines shows up, and he's there to party.
All right.
I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is awesome. So we're partying, doing it. If you Google Reese Gaines, probably what's going to come up is like a YouTube video when Louisville came back on Tennessee. They were like 8 or 9 points down with like a minute and 20 seconds to go, and they end up winning the game because it was one of Patino's first good players when he came to Louisville. And they ran that 1-3-1 full court trap and press.
Yeah.
Deadly. Yeah. So they're getting steals, passing
1-2-1-1,
passing the ball around and getting threes.
3/4 court trap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pretty much because the guy, the one guy on the far end, he would always, anticipate the passing lanes out of those traps and get the steals. So anyway. Basketball, yeah.
Basketball days.
So, so we're doing the partying with Reese Gaines. It's awesome. We're hitting it off. And then, you know, people start passing out and getting tired. We go to bed. Next morning, enter Tommy Ruth into the dream.
Oh.
Tommy shows up at Camp LaJoy, and I don't know why we had to leave, but we had to jump. I had to jump in the truck, and we had to get out of there quick.
Oh.
And so,
at my behest, or just
there was just an urgency.
Like, I didn't show up and go, let's go.
We got to get out of here. We got to go.
Or did
now. You showed up,
Uh-huh.
but there was an urgency to leaving,
Okay.
but it wasn't
All right.
said, you know. So you're at Camp LaJoy in the truck. I jump in the truck with you. Here's a teleport. We're driving around Spring Hill in the labyrinth of HOAs.
Yeah, that's Spring Hill.
That's
sure.
back here behind the shop. And then somewhat of a teleport where we get into we're into one of these little weird West Kentucky towns that, you know, it's not HOAs, it's just regular streets and neighborhoods and you know, just in town or whatever.
Right.
And so we're driving through, and the street, this is actually I know why this street layout came to me, because I had a buddy, Phil, that lived in Troy, Tennessee, that this is how his street was. But it was like split level homes, and the front of the houses, there's a street in front of it up here. Then the street would curve around. On the back side of the hill, you could see the back of the houses up on the hill. So we were driving through, and we came up to the turn before you start going down the hill, and there's Nick Ionello. I guess this is his house.
Okay.
He's unloading a like a 90s chunky leather sofa.
Was it like print?
It had multicolored, like bright multicolored cushions.
All right.
Like
if he comments on here that he actually had a couch like that,
I know, right?
I'm gonna go crazy.
But anyway, this didn't seem odd. This seemed normal.
Sure, of course. This is normal.
It's probably for his daughter. So, but somehow that was familiar. No big deal. So, what's up, Nick? We go on around, and then on the back side, all these houses have decks kind of built in. You know, from the top level. You know,
right.
So there's these three dudes that are on back of one of these decks, and they have these washers and dryers and stovetop ranges turned backwards. So on these decks, and they're standing behind them, and they've got these Gatling guns. Are those the ones that like spin and have the?
I think it's the
belt of bullets.
Yeah, Gatling gun.
Rip jack. Yeah. So those things are mounted. It looks like Walking Dead on the backside. Some kind of kind of a scene. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're these redneck looking dudes. One of them's has a mask of the robot emoji that I'll use for cadets.
Yeah.
He has that. He has that on his head. And so we're driving around, and he's just doing this, following us, all creepy. And you don't seem concerned about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is weird. You're like, they're just weird down here. It's no big deal. Like, you weren't concerned at all. Oh. So you're saying they're just they're probably just target practicing. I'm like, yeah, I hope it's not us. And then they start shooting at us, and we're like, oh God. So it's just like they're rolling these bullets off, 3 Gatling guns at us, and you're like, oh. So I jump out of the truck, like they get the tires.
You jumped? Oh, really?
And we can't go anywhere.
Oh, no.
So I get out of the truck, run to the other side, and then you just take off, like tires flapping.
I just left you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Sparks flying up off the rims on the pavement, like you trying to get out of there. And, you're gone. So I'm like, oh, God, what do I do? So now I'm in like a Warhammer game scene or something like that. So I see this big stack of, those concrete dividers, those highway dividers.
Yeah.
There's a big pile of those.
Uh-huh.
Very conveniently. So I run over there and get behind that.
All right.
And James Hetfield, the lead singer of Metallica, is there.
All right.
It's not all. Dr. Ryan, who you had on your podcast, friend of the shop.
All right.
He's there, which, by the way, same dude.
Pretty much.
Way they talk,
Yeah.
The whole thing. Yeah. Outlook, personality, same guy. Didn't make that connection till this dream.
All right.
And Kevin is there.
You know what? If you're gonna be in a zombie apocalypse firefight, you're probably in good hands. It's a good thing I left you.
You left me in good hands. So, you're out of there throwing sparks. Somehow you get out in a hurry with flat tires and everything. James starts telling me about these redneck bullets that are laced with something called REC. Okay?
All right.
REC, he said REC is a cornbread fusilli pasta-shaped micro nerve agent. When the bullet hits you, that agent spirals through your bodies, the spiral pasta thing, spirals through your body and attacks your central nervous system. So not only do you get hit and I guess maybe die, it hurts the whole time that you're doing it. So he's warning me of this, and he's like, you got to be careful. And I'm like, okay, James Hetfield, I will. And so there's this urgency to keep moving instead of just staying behind, the concrete there. And so I'm like, okay, I got to keep moving. So it seems like they're staying there, but I got to go.
Right.
So this is a theme. So I got to keep moving. Before I go, Ryan gets me by the shoulders. He's like, man, what does he say? He says, he grabs me by the shoulders and he just looks me in the eyes. He's like, you got this. I'm like, okay, I got this. He's like, you got this. I was like, okay. Kevin hands me a backpack full of guns. And he's like, this is what we trained for. I'm like, okay, I think that's what he said. That's what I remember him saying. Oh, yeah, he said, remember your training. So I escaped, terrified of these cornbread, fentanyl, or whatever bullets. And so now I'm running, and I come up to post-tornado downtown Mayfield.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which, is kind of Walking Dead, especially the day after.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I walk up on day after post-tornado. Nothing's cleared out yet, downtown Mayfield. And I get, that's pretty, there's a lot of bullets, there's a lot of, ducking down and, shooting and trying to, and then I somehow get back behind here, Spring Hill at the shop. And I'm like, I cross over a hill, and then here's the backside of these buildings. I'm like, oh, my God, I made it. Thank goodness. So I come inside, and you're here. And, I'm all messed up. And I walk through the back door, and you're like, ooh, what's up, son?
Of course. Oblivious to the zombie apocalypse going on.
Right. Well, that doesn't land very well with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty pissed off, and I was like, WTF you think is up, MFer? Look, I'm just, told you about what I went through. You just left me there. And you say, just calm down, Joey. Let me show you something. And so I'm like, okay. So you walk me to the back door that I just came through, and there's a huge sound stage.
Okay.
And there's a green screen and all of, the CTR magic equipment that's there. Corey and Brooke are doing sound checks. And then there's the rednecks, James Hetfield and Ryan and Nick are all there, and you tell me that you're doing a movie.
Okay.
You tell me this whole thing is a movie, and you apologize. Everyone's in on it, and you do it for authority. I think that means authenticity. Was 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
There. But everyone is in on it for authenticity. I guess because you didn't think I could act my way through it. So, so CTR is doing a new movie. No, I'm sorry, a new movie making workshop.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then Kevin texts you while we're there, and he's asking where he needs to park, and you're like, let me see, yeah, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'd like park where he always parks, park in front of the shop. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I'll go help him park. So I walk out the front of the store, and this is a big movie set, like a studio, like sound stages and stuff like that out the front side too. But it's still outside. So he's like, where do I park? So I'm like, somehow I'm familiar with, okay, you need to park over here. There's a parking garage over here on the left side of the building. Mm-hmm. And there's this big, like, you know, that architecture, like brutalism. I think that's what it's called. I may be wrong on that.
No.
Anyway, it's one of those big glass buildings, and it has that kind of architecture style.
Okay.
And I point him to the parking garage. And here's where more people come in, Tommy. So let me see. Where did I have his here? I scrolled away from it. Parking garage. Okay, here we go.
All right.
And I show him where to park, and I walk him in. And so at the bottom of this building, or a part of this building has a lobby, like a big, nice building does. And there's some Southside Sixes that are there. That's a
specific ones?
There was one specific one,
okay.
Yeah. So there's some Southside Sixes that are there that are in the lobby, and one of them is behind the desk. And over to the left, there's this huge cereal bar. Like they have all the cereals you could ever want.
Corn Pops, Golden
It was
Grams,
awesome. Yeah, you could eat
Corn Flakes.
Yeah, all you can eat. Mm-hmm. Cereal bar and coffee. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I look over there, and Chuck is there with Tom.
Having cereal
and coffee. And they're like, hey, Joey. It's like, look at this place. This is great, right? This is what I think. This is Chuck saying that. Yeah. And he's like, they have everything. And Tom was like, yeah. He's like, they even have Sugar Smacks, which I don't think they exist anymore, or they're not named that. So, and then they say, hey, we're going to finish up here, and we'll be in to pick up our pulls. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'll see you inside. So, Southside 6 Katie told me before I leave that she has to show me something.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm very hesitant, and I told her, I'm a happily married man, and I'm in a hurry. And she said, no, I know that, but just look at this. So she shows me over here, and there's this big, like, super shiny floor that, and Abe is over there. And everybody that's over there, Abe's the only one I recognize, but everybody that's over there is sliding around on their socks like they're in roller skates.
Okay.
And so I jump over there and do that for a little while, and I'm like doing moonwalks, and like, you ever seen somebody skate with like their hands in their pockets, they're going backwards and doing those, doing those tricks. Like Abe was over there doing that, and I don't know. So that was fun. And so after that, that was just, I don't know what that had to do with anything, but it's a dream. So at that point, I wake up, and I'm on a bench back at Camp LaJoy. A dream within a dream.
Okay. Some Inception stuff there.
Yeah. The adults have all overslept from the night before.
Drank too much.
We drank too much. We overslept. We're hungover. The kids found the booze.
Oh, no.
They partied while we were all knocked out. And so, we're going to jail. And then all of a sudden, like, kids are missing. And I'm like, oh God, where's Abigail? So I get up there to the mess hall, and I find Abigail, and she's smoking a cigarette.
I like sauce noodles. I don't know why that came to my mind.
With a bottle of number 7 Jack Daniels right here.
She's gonna do it right.
Hungover, yeah, like drunk, and this keeps jumping back up to the front. Yeah, like I said, kids are missing, and Abigail's, smoking, drinking. She's hungry. She's crying. Reese Gaines, again, he comes to mind, and I'm looking for him. He's gone, and I remember being disappointed because I wanted to have like a casual friendship, like between an acquaintance and the inner circle, kind of a friendship.
Sure.
Yeah, I wanted to get his phone number, and text him and stuff like that. And I was disappointed about that. And so anyway, Abigail's okay. Not sure about the other kids. We try to find the missing ones. We can't find them. Going to jail soon. So I get back to the mess hall. Jared's in there.
Uh-huh.
Jared hands me. He said, "Dude, crazy, right?" Just talking about the whole situation. I don't know. And he hands me an old Northside Christian School agenda assignment book that they used to give us. And he handed it to me. Mm-hmm. And I took it, and then I woke up.
Man, what did you eat before you went to bed?
Well, this segment is brought to you by Persona Vitamins.
Oh.
Yeah. I ran out of melatonin.
Okay.
And so last night, and so I had all these. I never take the nighttime Personas. So I thought, I know that has a little melatonin thing in it. So
that vitamin thing we ordered?
Those little packets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I took that, and that's all I can think of. Everything else is pretty normal. That's the only thing I did differently. So
that's the first time you had a crazy dream like that? Like that crazy that you actually sat down and wrote it down?
Yeah, that's first, yeah. Since I was on that. So. So explain that.
I can't.
Can't?
No, other than that that's what your subconscious is that's twirling in the back of your subconscious. Because it sounds like either all the things that like you're either excited about or concerned about or absolutely terrified of. Like your worst fear is finding Abigail sitting somewhere with a cigarette and a bottle of number 7.
Yeah. She was like, it's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So she was
like, what, Dad?
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you mean what I want? You drink.
Yeah. So yeah, all of it, man. It was everybody was in there.
Man.
My parents, Elena.
I'm not sure what the most outlandish part of that dream is. Right now, I'm not.
I don't know. But the dream within a dream was also
it's pretty crazy.
That was
the whole thing
crazy.
about Kevin. This is what we trained for. Oh man, I hope he watches this.
Yeah, I hope he watches it too.
We'll have to tag him in this.
We'll tag everybody.
It's hilarious.
Was mentioned. I try not to use last names.
Yeah,
but
you did.
I think I did on one person. Sorry, Nick.
And that's hilarious, man.
So yeah,
I was thinking about something while you were talking about it, as far as like, something about the dreamings, the whole process of dreaming, and now it's completely slipped my mind. But if it comes back to me, I'll bring it up. But
all right,
it is crazy, like what our minds kind of go through sometimes in the middle of the night. But
gymnastics, that's what that was.
I was actually telling Brooke, because I was like, hey, we're going to talk about a dream that Joey had today on this podcast, and the other night, I went to bed early, like 8:30. I was so tired for some reason. And I remember, it's one of those where you just don't remember going to sleep. You just fall out that hard. And I slept till right at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was like right before I woke up. I don't remember much about this dream, but I remember being in like this weird apartment complex. And like I had like a little room over here, and there was a room over here, and it had like curtains. And I remember like I was going into my little cubicle, whatever. I look over, and there's this like weird, like Incan, Mexican, Central American looking dude with crazy hair, and he's just like you know. And I remember going, whoa, and then like just waking up, and then I was awake for like 3 hours after that. Like it was one of those nights where I really slept hard for like 6 hours, and then I was just up.
Well, that was this. I was up. I was like, okay, it's 4 a.m. I got to go back because I probably spent 10 minutes getting that down. And then
honestly, you probably would have been better just getting up and going and doing something.
Yeah, well,
trying to lay there.
But it wasn't. I mean, my I think I may have. I don't think I even dozed off. I texted you about it when I decided I wasn't gonna be able to sleep, and then and my alarm went off not too long after that. So, and just then, even though I wrote it down and typed it out and everything, reading it back on here, I still forgot some of it.
Honestly, man, this sounds like the blueprint for a very hilarious comedy.
Here we go.
You know what? Like one of those dark comedies, like what's it, Dale and Tucker Save the World or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we could do we could probably figure out a Black Mirror dark with a comedy twist
about Black Mirror. I'm just thinking something completely just goofy.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. We'll have to workshop that one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we got something to start with here.
For sure. It's funny that Jerry was here. I was like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, that was it. He was at the very end. And maybe that was him when he handed me that. He was like, you probably need to write this down. Maybe that was Jared telling me.
It reminds me of those. And Matt, he's not here today, but would know what I'm talking about. Those silly dream sequences that Commander Data has on when he's messing with his dream programming. You know, that's what that kind of sounded like. He has some weird stuff that happens in those dreams.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like Dr. Freud's in his dreams, and weird people.
I might take that again tonight and just ride it out.
You might be rolling on those things for all you know.
Yeah, we might have some really good stuff.
Is there mushrooms in those?
I don't know.
Those nighttime? I didn't know there was a nighttime pack.
Yeah, they give you a daytime pack, and one of it has melatonin.
There's an AM pack and a PM pack.
Yeah,
right.
And it has like
I remember that.
I think
now.
L-theanine.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, and then the other one is
seriously, what did you eat for dinner?
What did we eat for dinner? We ate
and what did
beef stroganoff.
Beef stroganoff. And what did you watch on TV?
Didn't watch TV.
Did you read anything?
I read Batman Echoes.
Okay.
I think that's it.
It looks a little dreamy. Anyway.
It does look a little dreamy. I actually liked Batman 89 Echoes.
You did?
I did.
Is this the pick of the week?
I think so. I think you guessed exactly right.
Pick of the week. I'd put it out there. This is the last copy, by the way.
Yeah.
Right here.
Come and get it.
I
like this. This has started off a lot better than the original Batman 89 run. And it's got what's her name? Quinzel?
Harleen,
yeah. Harleen Quinzel. And
Dr. Harleen Quinzel. She's
right, Dr. Q.
PhD.
Right. But the way that they drew her in this is very 90s Madonna.
Oh, really?
Lady Gaga. Yeah. So that's going to appeal to all the homies. Let's see.
I don't understand. Because isn't Barbara Gordon in this? Like she's Commissioner Gordon?
Yep.
But like,
and I was like, is this
Barbara Gordon?
But she has dark, short hair.
Yeah, because Barbara Gordon in this universe was Alicia Silverstone. She does look like Madonna.
Yeah, it's got that suit on. You know what that's 80s cuts.
Supposed to be Madonna. Yeah, that suit totally.
Yeah, it's Madonna / Lady Gaga.
Is that Jonathan Crane? Who does that look like?
I don't know, but there's a guy in that book that looks a lot like another customer of ours.
You did send me that. I saw that. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, it's
you see it? Yeah. All
right.
So, dude, the universe is working in a weird way here in the last.
It has
been.
Days. I have to say that it's been an interesting.
The dreamscapes.
Let's hope none of that stuff comes to fruition. If I go outside and see a pile of concrete dividers out there, I'm gonna like, what?
There's a lot of things that would be weird if it came from that dream, but like they put a cereal bar in next door with the ice cream shop.
Oh my gosh, he's over there early this morning. He may be working on something.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised. I'm glad you turned the music.
I don't eat a lot of cereal anymore, but there are times when I just want a bowl of cereal.
Oh God, cereal's the best.
I don't ever eat cereal in the mornings because I eat stuff that's got a lot of sugar.
Yeah, I mean
it's
that's what we were raised on. That's I crave it. Fruity Pebbles. Oh my gosh, man, love them, love them, love them, love them.
It's got all those dyes in it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I don't know. But there are times when I'm just like, man, it's like I have a bowl of cereal. Like at night, I don't want to eat dinner. I just want to eat a bowl of cereal.
I remember you always had Golden Grams at your house.
I always did. Well, in my adult. I mean, as a kid.
As a kid, yes.
Yeah, but we had pretty much. There were very, very few cereals growing up that we wouldn't eat. Like it was like
you had crackling oat bran, and that stuff was delicious. I never had it till I came to your house. Yeah,
I don't know why we had crackling oat, other than like my mom was trying to get fiber.
It was good. I liked it. I remember being like, that's cereal I would never have eaten unless it was like probably the only thing you had at your house to eat.
I think the two biggest as a kid I can remember, especially young, the two cereals we had the most were Cheerios and Wheaties. But
Wheaties was the most basic cereal.
But we would always probably put 4 tablespoons of sugar on it.
Absolutely.
And that was why we ate it the way we ate it.
You made it the other cereals that you liked.
The dentist wonderland.
Yeah.
But we let's see that. But then we got Cocoa Krispies was always something.
Oh,
Not just Rice Krispies, but Cocoa Krispies.
Yeah.
And one time there was Marshmallow Krispies, which was regular Rice Krispies that just had marshmallow. We would eat those.
Yeah. They had the Cocoa Krispies with marshmallows in them.
If we ever got Cocoa Pebbles, I always felt like it was like an upgrade.
Oh, okay.
Cocoa Pebbles. But the problem with Cocoa Pebbles was the box was always smaller and you didn't get as much.
Yeah. By the time you and Tommy and Brian got into
We'd eat a bowl of cereal. A box of cereal in a couple of days.
Shoot. I bet you eat it in a day. Like you, Toby, Brian. I bet there wasn't nothing left for Mary. Mary was like,
no, Mary would get her food.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. We never got things like Cookie Crisp. No, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
But Sugar Smacks were things.
Yeah, I never liked those very much.
Corn Pops.
Yeah.
Apple Jacks.
Yep, Apple Jacks are good. No, a lot of the
cereal Kellogg staples, General Mills staples,
General Mills and Kellogg's. If a cereal bar like in that dream, would be wonderful.
You never seen a cereal bar?
I have, but like the one in my dream, I wish I could show you, but
maybe we just set up a cereal bar here in the Cadets.
It was massive.
You think people would show up?
I don't know. I mean, they
what
might.
Do you charge like $6 and people just eat it?
$5 a head, and you'd be making out like a bandit. I would think if you buy that stuff in bulk.
Yeah.
Yes, son.
Have you ever seen
Business, son?
Yes, son. There is it's a History Channel show called The Food That Built America.
Okay. The cereal.
Well, there's an episode. I mean, they talk about each episode's different. I mean,
they did one on cereal.
They did one on cereal, and it was I want to see if I get this right. There were 2 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? I think it's Post.
Okay. Yeah.
One of them was a doctor, like a psych.
Dr. Post.
I want to say it's what it was. If we had Matt in the computer here, we'd look it up today, but we don't. So it's Can do it. But one of them was a brother, and he was a doctor and he had this like prestigious like health clinic in I think Michigan or wherever those cereals came from. I think it is like Battle Creek, Michigan, or whatever it was called. Look up Post. I think it's like Dr. Post. I think it's what it was. And he developed basically this meal, all right, filled with the right ingredients that he basically served, like he made it on a baking sheet, like the size of this table, and like he would break it up into like little bars.
Yeah.
And that's what he served his patients because it had the right nutrients and the right amount of fiber and XYZ. And he had a younger brother who was like he sort of was kind of like a black sheep, was kind of aloof, really didn't really have anywhere, but he ended up working for his brother in this clinic in the kitchen, and he told his brother, he said, "Man, this cereal stuff is really good." Actually, maybe Kellogg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, it probably is because this guy was a farm implement. CW Post was a farm implement manufacturer.
Well, I'll talk about that too. But look up Dr. Kellogg. I have my phone. I think it's Dr. Kellogg.
I got you.
Anyway,
got you. Dr. Kellogg. Kellogg.
I think that's what it is.
I think it's got 2 G's, doesn't it? Kellogg's, Dr. Kellogg's cereal. John Harvey Kellogg.
Is it a doctor?
Let me see. He is, according to Wikipedia, is. All right, come on, Samsung. Do it. Come on, Spectrum Internet. Let's go. Let's go. It's spinning. It's broken. Did you find it?
Yeah. Okay. So
He's a physician. Yep.
Yes. And he had a brother, all right, that was a little bit like aloof, and he thought that this cereal was like the best thing ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to convince his brother to like market it. Blah 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 blah. And his doctor brother was like, no, that's not what I'm about. I'm about being a doctor, and this is my thing. This clinic is my baby. You know, this is just something I make sure people healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I think his brother finally got tired of it, and he just stole the recipe, and then he went off and he made this cereal, which was I don't think it was Wheaties, but I think it was like that special K stuff.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I really can't remember. God, I watched this a while ago, and I'm not explaining this very well, but interesting enough,
people can look it up.
Yeah, people can look it up. Interesting enough, like the brother stole the thing, and he basically made a fortune off this, ripping off his brother's recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then his brother had a turn of misfortune where his clinic burned down and he lost everything. And so he tried to revive his career because he was kind of famous by
famous doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creating a whole nother cereal brand.
Okay.
You know? And eventually it came down
Here comes
to
General Mills.
No, it was Post.
Oh,
like
okay.
it came down to Post. Like it was like Grape Nuts was the second thing.
Oh, okay.
But part of the whole process was taking the bar and like flattening it, and it made these little wafers, and they learned to bake it, and it broke it up, and that's how you made like cornflakes.
And
I think it was cornflakes actually, now that I think about it.
And he engineered the nutrients to be all in that one
and
thing.
I think it was cornflakes,
Yeah.
And then eventually the
so it was like he was multivitamin-ing a food.
Well, yeah, and I think my point to all this was like the original cereals that were introduced, like cornflakes and Grape Nuts, was what eventually was this competitor to that. Where that they actually they were engineered with the right nutrients, for, gut health, to have because that was like, it had to have a certain amount of fiber.
Yeah.
And these, vitamins and nutrients that now is just replaced by whatever the hell they're putting in food.
Probably had some cocaine in it. Seems like they always kind of snuck little things like that in there. Give
I don't
you a
know.
Little bump.
But if you've never watched those shows, they're really interesting, kind of like.
Yeah, I haven't seen
they're
that
really
one.
dumbed down, and like they just kind of explain like, and they're dramatic.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of fun to watch, like how these.
Well, I've seen how it's made. Those kind of shows, I love those. I haven't seen the one you're talking about, though.
Actually, my friend John's in one of those episodes.
Okay.
He was in a lot of those series.
Yeah.
Like The Men Who Built America. And
kind of as the black and white guy going, hey, with the top hat, kind of that kind of stuff.
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
In The Men Who Built America, he was Charles Schwab, which is not the financial guy, not the same one you're thinking about that has the big firm.
Oh,
someone similar, but he was the character that sort of negotiated the sale of Carnegie Steel Industry to J.P. Morgan.
Oh.
So that's the character he played in that it was the very first one he did, because it was the very first series that company put out.
That's cool.
But since then he did several of those. He was like in the history of NASCAR, he was Bill France.
Yeah, give him a shout, John
Keebler.
Check
the
him
cookie.
out. Yeah, IMDb.
Keable.
I remember I met John a couple times.
And he's
nice fella.
I want to say he was in The Food Who Built America. I can't remember what episode he played in, but it was the cookies. Nabisco.
Yeah. I've heard a story about Nabisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the Nabisco episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nabisco's what's it stand for?
National Biscuit Company.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
National Biscuit Company.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of names there. Dropping a lot of names there and how they connect with each other.
Well, I think one of the more interesting episodes I enjoyed was the M&M Mars versus Hershey.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's always like, in these episodes, there's always like this person versus this person. But the reality was the people that started in Mars was this dude. I think he was in Chicago. And he just made candy. And he had this son that he really was estranged with. He just didn't know. And his son had come to Chicago and got arrested. And the only person he even knew of in Chicago to get him out of jail was his dad that he never really had a relationship with. And his dad bailed him out, and they went and had lunch. And they were just talking, and said, "What do you do?" Because I make candy. And I guess his son was like, "You know what?" They were drinking malts. And his son was like, people love malts. He was housing on a malt flavored candy. And then his dad was like, "Oh," and then they literally.
Where they make Milky Way?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Nice.
They made the Milky Way.
Okay.
And because that's what the nougat is. That and the three. I think. Hold on. I think the first one was the Three Musketeer bar.
Oh, okay.
Because they wanted a candy bar that tasted like a milkshake.
Wonder how they arrived at. I could see Milky Way, but how do you arrive at Three Musketeers?
I don't know. Okay, they think they talk about it in the movie, the episode. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But problem was they had an issue with chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that had the monopoly on the chocolate at the time was Hershey. Because what Hershey had done was taken the chocolate that he had discovered in Bavarian France or Germany or wherever, and brought it back to America. But that's a different type of chocolate. It's more bitter, you know. And
he mixed it up.
He mixed it with milk, and that's how we got milk chocolate.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
And
I've heard that town smells like chocolate.
So the dude went to Hershey and said, "I need to buy some chocolate from you," because I guess there was a chocolate shortage, or he was on when he could source it or whatever. And Hershey was like, I think at first because he had like an accountant, it was like, don't do this. This is like this guy could be a competitor.
Yeah,
they kind of blew him off, but then all of a sudden it did become a competitor. But so interesting. I mean, I love all those little stories.
Yeah, I
of how things we see as common everyday stuff, actually how it came into to being, and how we the conflicts and a lot of it was family struggles. I mean, that particular series talks about flash freezing food for the first time.
Yeah, did you? I saw one on Paducah-based Dippin' Dots, Paducah, Kentucky-based Dippin' Dots.
Is that where that comes from?
Yeah, it's
Dippin'
back
Dots?
there behind the mall. Yeah,
it comes from Paducah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the guy that lives in. I don't know if he still lives there, but he's
the
from Paducah.
Joyful Arcade has Dippin' Dots over there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, they come in a little package. You can buy them at a gas station, but
but you got to get the big freezer that stays
they have
below
a big
zero,
freezer, which I'm sure eats up a lot of electricity.
Yeah,
but anyway,
keep that baby
Dippin'
cold.
Dots. I did not know that.
Yeah, Paducah, Kentucky base. The guy's from there, and they still got a factory there. I'm sure they have factories everywhere now, but
sure.
Yeah. So, but that's where it all got going. There's a whole.
I don't know that I've ever eaten Dippin' Dots.
There's a whole.
I think I never was just like, I don't get what the appeal of it is.
Well, I mean, they're delicious. Especially when they melt just a little bit, they get below the part where they stay perfect little circles and balls, that cold. Yeah, they're good when they're like that, kind of in between. So they are good, no doubt about it. You should treat yourself.
Sure.
Birthday cake, get that one.
No, I'm not. I've never been a birthday cake.
Yeah.
Ice cream person.
What about chocolate?
Chocolate's fun.
Yeah, they're chocolate.
But not birthday cake. I'd never it's not something I run and get as birthday cake.
I love birthday cake. The candles, the flavored stuff. It's always good. The one bar birthday cake.
No.
Money.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's good, man. It's good. Love it. I'm hungry right now. I haven't eaten.
I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Nice.
As I was rushing out the door, I looked up. It was like 15 till. I was like, oh man, I gotta go. And
yeah.
Slapped a peanut butter jelly sandwich and a banana.
It's good. That's good. Yeah. Part of a balanced breakfast. That's another thing about cereal. They'd always all that sugar like bowls of sugar, they'd say part of a balanced breakfast, which it was just there, and everything else was.
I wonder though
breakfast.
if it was part of a balanced breakfast back then, because like I said, it didn't have all these preservatives and stuff that that.
But they were made of sugar. Like if you had, they
Well,
would say Trix was part of a balanced breakfast, and of course you'd see toast, eggs, a banana, like all
orange juice or a
food,
glass of milk.
the whole food pyramid over here.
Yeah.
And then you've got this bowl of cereal, and it's like I guess technically it is a.
When
part.
you ever had that breakfast, was it ever like a?
It's not a part of it.
Did you have like a toast?
A part of
and like
a
fruit
PART
along with your cereal?
No, sometimes I'd eat a banana. I never cut up banana. I don't like.
I never put a banana in cereal.
I don't like the texture differences of like super crunchy and soft things. Like you eat extra crunchy peanut butter on bread. I don't like that. It's just like kind of something soft and pillowy like bread, and then gravel of the extra crunchy peanut butter in the middle and jelly and stuff like that. So yeah,
it was never like my breakfast is. I'm sure I'd love to see if somebody's was. Never looked like what it looked like on the commercials. It was always like, "That's what you got."
Yeah.
Like if you had like a slab of bacon and a bowl of oatmeal.
Like if I was gonna serve breakfast in bed to somebody, I would use that picture to say, "Okay, this is what it needs to look like."
You never done that?
I don't remember ever doing that.
If I ever made somebody breakfast in bed, it was like pancakes.
But nobody really wants breakfast in bed. That's the thing. No, I've never known anybody be like.
I don't know how comfortable that would be.
Yeah.
What's the appeal to that?
I don't know. There's a lot of things that have to work for breakfast in bed to be enjoyable. You got to be able to like sit up, good behind the headboard and have your pillows right, and
I know it wouldn't work in
not sink too much.
My house there's too many dogs.
Oh God, yeah, that'd be a nightmare.
And they have no problem with like, getting up in your face like that or getting up on your plate. He knows you're talking about him.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, J Rod? I'll call you back. Actually, I'm gonna answer. Let's see here.
You got to put the speaker into the.
I will. Yo, Jared, we're recording a show. You're live right now.
All right, cool, man.
Actually, you came up in this episode. I've talked about you today.
Oh boy.
So I know you support the podcast and watch these. So I had a crazy, crazy dream last night, and you were in it at one point. So
I always like being in your dreams.
Well, you always have been, and I guess that'll never change. And I mean that in the gayest way possible.
Good. I thought so no Sunday night show.
No,
taping.
Nope, we didn't get it done Sunday night, so we're here today, which might be a good thing. We're a little fresher in the morning.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Well, do you have anything to say to the 7 people that watch this?
It's not true.
Go buy some comics. Get a shirt.
Buy some comics and a shirt.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, want me to call you back?
Yeah. Give me a call back.
All right,
Y'all
buddy.
take care.
All right. Bye. I love how this just goes black and I can't hang up. Hope you hung up, Jared. This phone, man, I got to get out of here.
You got to get out of that phone.
I got to get out of here.
Got to get you an iPhone. Man, they practically begging you to buy iPhone 15s. They're probably loaded with all kinds of tracking devices.
Yeah, more than usual.
Like they're literally like trying to pay you to go buy a phone.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like. It seems like with Verizon, I don't know what the story is.
Verizon.
I know, like, there's an update. The newest update with this phone is like I can literally, hold your phone and my phone and go like that, and it'll
bling,
basically mate, and then it's got your contact information.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just flying through the airwaves.
So man, we got through Black Friday, the weekend. It was a pretty good weekend, even though I feel like a lot of people were out of town. The hills seemed a little quiet.
Yeah, well,
streets were easy to navigate, which means that people either not getting out or they just were gone.
Black Friday was, a good day for the shop. The Pokemon swap was this place is usually packed, and we had like
I think a lot of people were
six
gone.
people.
Yeah.
It was not very many at all, and I hate that too because luckily somebody didn't come in for their first time and they're like, "Oh, this is the Pokemon swap." Yeah, but that's happened before.
It
like
has.
and
It's like
so
one guy.
Yeah.
Like, usually it's not like this.
it's like you've been telling me about this every time I come in.
Well, I'll show you some pictures.
So so the Pokemon swap was a little low. Ralph Holt Sr. came in.
Yeah, y'all watched the game.
Day. We watched the Kentucky Wildcats. Broke my heart yet again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I came in about
days are
halftime.
numbered.
Halftime, we watched the rest of it. And,
Yeah.
Then I closed down. We did Lorcana.
Lorcana was good.
Yeah.
We watched the night before, like we did Black Friday, and then that night went home and watched the Mayfield playoff game. So they're playing for state this Friday at 4 o'clock on YouTube. You have to check out. Shout out to Red Helmet Video for making that happen. Their channel on YouTube. So good stuff. So it was quite a weekend. Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was pretty eventful. Lots of family. They came here. It was good. They're going to do the same for Christmas. So this year it's going to be, pretty easy. Not any traveling.
Me and the dogs on Thanksgiving.
I know it. Well, you're always invited.
I know. Sometimes I just like to relax.
Well, I know, and I get that. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he was telling me that one time for his dad's birthday, they were like, we really don't know what to get you. And he said he gave him a credit card and said, just y'all go get a hotel and stay away for the weekend. I want the house to myself. I'm like, okay.
That's the thing, though.
Sometimes you need it.
It is. Sometimes you need it.
And so, it was pretty. He said it was pretty shocking at the time, but
I watched Oppenheimer
when he grew up. He's like, I got it. I understood why he felt that way.
Yeah. I watched Oppenheimer and The Equalizer 3.
Yeah. Did you watch Oppenheimer all in one sitting?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, I think I started the night before. Not that I couldn't hack it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did I? No, I think I did watch it all that morning.
Well, Nolan is good at just keeping you there, man.
It was a very Christopher Nolan film.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can't say that it was as epic as everybody made it out to be, other than the fact that it's a movie. Currently, where the state of movies are right now, it's like if you watch that movie compared to what's going out there right now, and you'd be like, "Oh wow,
yeah." Right.
Whereas if you watched it when Inception was out, or Interstellar, it's like, I didn't think it was very.
It wasn't on that level.
Well,
it seems like a different. This has actual historical. It's a different movie for him. It's not fiction.
It had a lot of great actors in it.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
really
a lot,
did.
actually.
Yeah.
Like, there were, obviously Michael Caine's not in it because he's up there in age now.
Feeble.
But, Cillian Murphy's in a lot of his films.
Yeah.
And
great actor. He
was in it. There's that one guy that plays in a lot of his films, too, but he's always a side character. I can't remember his name. He was Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad, and I can't remember his name, that actor. But yeah, Robert Downey Jr.'s in it. The guy that plays the young Han Solo.
Oh, yeah.
Had big roles in it. Your girl's in it. What's her name? Florence Pugh.
Yeah. Okay.
Emily Blunt is in it. She's like Oppenheimer's wife.
Yeah.
Very good. Did a very good job.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of things that really brought a lot to the table, which is really cool to watch. But it was fantastic. I loved it. It was great. It's probably the best movie I've seen in a while. But I guess I really think that, having seen all the movies I've seen in my life, it's like I don't know that I would go, that's the movie.
Right.
But I think if you haven't, here in the last 4 or 5 years, it's like
way up there.
It would overshadow what's out there now.
Well, and it was
greatly.
well attended, at the box office. So that's good. I'm sure a lot of that was because it's a Nolan movie.
That's one, and it has a lot of great actors. It also came out the same time as Barbie, so the box offices were pretty slammed that weekend. Which, again, in a situation where the box offices haven't been because of, since COVID, these two films out at the same time. It's not like one took away from the other. There were two completely different sets of viewers that went and watched these films.
Yeah,
and I really think they overwhelm the box office and go, oh, we had a big weekend.
Well, it'd be perfect for a family like mine because Sarah and Abigail can go see that, and I can go over here and see Oppenheimer. So.
Except they'd be out way before you would. But
that's true.
No, it was great. I enjoyed it. It was interesting from go.
Yeah, well.
So that's what I did. I did that pretty much.
What subject matter?
That was my thing. Then I watched a documentary on the Jewish Holocaust.
What? Okay. Well, just
I'm telling you,
bright and sunny.
I talk about stuff like that, and Tom goes, "Man, you really watch a lot of different stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually interested in a lot of things."
A lot of things. So, what did you eat for Thanksgiving?
Well, for lunch, I had 2 grilled hot dogs,
which is delicious, but
I don't remember what I ate for dinner. I think I ate a cardboard pizza that I.
Oh God, that's even sadder.
I'm not a huge Thanksgiving meal person. I remember people like, "You ready to go home and get some good cooking?" I'm like,
"Get some turkey."
Let me tell you something, guys.
I'm a ham guy.
My sister makes a lot of casseroles, and she's the only one that cooks, and I don't like casserole, all right, at all.
Yeah.
And my mom can't cook, so I've never been like looking forward to going home to a home cooked meal. That's never been a thing for me. The last time I remember having even a good meal and I didn't appreciate it was when my grandmother was still alive.
Well, I guess I thought the thought of you, which I didn't think you would just do hot dogs. I wanted you to come to our Thanksgiving because the thought of Tommy being that sad guy in the Cracker Barrel on Thanksgiving Day eating by himself is a little too much.
Maybe that guy's not sad. Maybe he's just like, you know what, man, I can eat my meal in peace.
Maybe so. Maybe his family's all at
I
home.
wasn't sad. I wasn't lonely. I mean, I didn't feel lonely. I had my dogs. I mean, sometimes it's a good way to drown out the noise.
Yeah. I mean, it's totally
sure.
right.
Would I prefer to have like a family and spend time with them? Sure. But I mean, I was invited to my family's thing. It was just, with the way the store schedule was, I wasn't going to drive, 4 hours one way and 4 hours back for one meal. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's not like I had 2 or 3 days to enjoy the vacation. Because for me, it's always a rush.
Yeah.
There's always a rush. And I'm like, I've never really get that time to just like, and even when I'm like at my family's, it's like I'm like, there's always something. So it's never like peaceful.
Yeah.
So when I get a chance to like find a peaceful moment, like I want to just be peaceful.
When you said Tom, I'm
probably gonna do the same thing on Christmas if I'm being honest, man. It's like,
all right. Well, I mean,
I'll probably just for those last minute shoppers be the guy like I was last year here on Christmas Eve. Man in the fort. If anybody wants to run in here and get a last minute Christmas gift, I'll be here till 7.
Yeah.
Or 6 or 5 or whatever. How long I decide to sit here because Christmas Eve is usually pretty quiet, but I'm usually around, and if I decide to drive to Kentucky for Christmas Day, and great. If I don't, I'm just going to sit at home, No big thing.
No big thing. It's a day off.
It's not like I have kids, where it's like exciting to open presents with your kids. I don't have that. I don't have that reality, you know. So,
Thanks.
However, I feel like I'm trying to convince me and you and everybody listening that I'm not a pathetic loser.
No,
I just don't know if it's coming across that way.
That's not the case at all. No, not at all. But what it is on the other side of that, the reality of Christmas, at least for me, is as you get older, it's it's a stressful time. And with some people, it's a sad time because people are gone, or you want people there that are not there, or they passed away. It's more of a relief that it's here and it's about to be over for me than anything, But I try to enjoy the day and try to take joy in seeing the family. I definitely take joy in seeing the family. That's the good part of it. But making sure you have everything and you've provided a good Christmas, and the kid likes what you got them, or just whatever. Wife likes what you got them, loved ones. And then you're just like, oh, God, thank goodness that's over.
I really enjoy that time between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
'Cause there's so little going on, even in the business world.
That's true.
You know,
It's a bad week for us business wise, but it's at
Um,
least we have the regular.
It is and it isn't. I think there's moments, and we'll see how it goes this year because I know it's just been a tough year financially for just about everybody. But one thing we put out here so much is like, look, if you just want to get out of the house,
Yeah, and come hang
hang
out.
out the shop.
Yeah.
You know,
We do get a lot of that, and plus you get you've got New Comic Book Day doesn't stop on Wednesdays,
it doesn't.
which is today. Happy
Today?
New Comic Book Day.
Have a new comic book day.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get this out before the end of the day, but
Yeah.
it takes a while to process these videos, so especially the longer we go.
Well, they can watch. The Harry SD version, I guess, before the HD renders out.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of New Comic Book Day, pulled some choice
Oh, I
books.
see an art germ.
Yeah, there's an art germ out this week. It's Donna Troy, which is one of my favorite Wonder Girls for sure characters. So I think it was because she had dark hair. I think I always liked
Yeah, and
Donna Troy.
yeah, and she was the young Wonder Woman kind of a
Well,
figure,
She was one of the first Amazons, obviously. She's got an interesting story. Her backstory's changed so many times.
Yeah, well, she, Art Germ always does a good job with that. The last time they did a cover, which wasn't long ago, with the Titans, she looked exactly like Gal Gadot, whatever you say.
The Wonder Woman one? Yeah.
No, it wasn't Wonder Woman. It was Donna Troy, but it was on the
really?
cover of Titans. God, it looked exactly like her.
I don't know what this story's about. It's the Beast World issue #1.
Yeah.
So it's a new #1 out this week. It's a Titan spinoff, but it's sort of this crossover event going on.
Is Taylor on that one? Or was somebody else?
Yeah.
They just threw him the keys to the Titans, didn't
Basically.
they? Yeah.
A couple of facsimiles out this week.
Ooh, yeah.
X-Men
142.
142, which there aren't many of these left. That might be the last one.
Might be. Well, dude, I mean, if not for no other reason, buy it for the ads
Totally.
that are in the inside of these things, man.
And another
The original ads.
Doom Patrol #99.
Yeah, man. And
First appearance of Beast Boy, I believe.
what's that? 65, something like that. Something crazy. Looks
Check
like
out that one.
looks like a mid-60s. What is that?
It's
Oh,
just the ads.
$50.
Put your nose to the dot. Check that out. There you go.
Oh, it was a sniffy thing.
Maybe.
Nice. Is
Tom would know.
What is this? Babe Ruth? No.
It is.
No, he's on the back.
Pass and kick competition for enter the 5th annual Ford Dealers National Football League punt, pass, and kick competition. You remember they used to have those like at War Memorial, like you go to a punt, pass, and kick. I remember those things.
Yeah, it's funny too because back in these days where these were printed, like in the Northeast or whatever,
Yeah.
a lot of times they'd have regional ads in them.
1965.
Yeah.
All right, so before I get to these, Harley Quinn's out with a new Jenny Frizen. If anybody's interested,
yeah,
not my favorite
Bionic
Jenny
Woman.
Frizen, but it's
yeah,
Jenny Frizen.
it's
If you're a Jenny
different.
Frizen fan. 3 books of the week this week. Obviously, you start with Spider-Woman #1. So
yeah. Part of the gang war. It's a one
part of
shot. I
Gang
believe.
War. Is it? I
Might
don't think
be.
it is. No, Spider-Woman's an ongoing series.
Oh, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking they
Yeah.
were doing some one
It's got,
shots to.
Ike Ijaker, one of
Okay.
Art Germ
So
students.
they're using this gang war event to launch these.
I love this cover.
Yeah, it is a good cover.
I don't know. This Gang War is sort of a big crossover between Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Woman. Luke Cage #1 is out this week.
Man, we got
So check that
Samuel
out.
L's jacked.
That's what it looks like. Or it looks like what's his name? The Iron Fist dude. What's his name?
The actor.
Yeah, the actor. He's in Batman. He's in Dark Knight. That's kind of what he looks like.
I
Except
don't
with
remember
his
the
shade.
actor's name.
I can't
Yeah.
remember his name either. And then Howard the Duck,
Hey,
#1. It's
bringing
out.
it back.
Bringing it back.
Look at Hulk and Thor in the window
And
there.
just so you know, this is Chip Zdarsky
Shit. Well,
is on here with about 50 other people.
make him
I wonder if there's
interesting.
more than
Chip.
one story in here. 'Cause there's a lot of names on this book. It's very possible.
Off Batman onto Howard the Duck.
It's
What a
thick-
shift.
It's a thick book. I think it's the 50th anniversary of, yeah. 50th anniversary of
That's
Howard's book.
crazy.
Yeah, first appearance, celebrating 50 years since Howard's first appearance in 1973's Fear number 19.
Fear. All right. Well.
And so I guess there's definitely different cover artists on this. Let's see if
There's a lot of girls. There's Scotty Young and
Scotty Young. Yeah, there was several.
yeah, we've got a bunch sitting over there. Y'all come buy those, will you?
Come get these Howard the Duck books.
Yep.
Looks like there's
CadetsToys.com.
probably several little stories in this one,
Okay.
so it's kind of worth checking out.
Yeah, I like those books that kind of cut the stories up a little bit. You know, I've been reading. There's some good books I've read lately. You know,
There have been.
yeah. So
Not on the Marvel side.
we complain a lot. Yeah, it's been on DC, but
DC's.
as Sarah would say, we're a DC family.
Not by. I mean, we kind of are. That's just kind of what we grew up reading.
Yeah, that was kind of what was there. In Spider-Man, I mean,
I'll be honest though. We know from that old spinner rack, and correct me if I'm wrong. At Moreheads, I don't remember a ton of Marvel books beyond Spider-Man. I don't remember like seeing like X-Men.
No.
Or Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because like X-Men just was not.
It was always stuff like he might have just had an account with DC and just got.
Yeah.
Because I remember like he had Justice League Europe on there, and there was Aquaman.
Well, we got Justice
Superman,
League Europe
Action Comics,
and Justice League International from Book Trader. I felt like.
No, I think those came from Moreheads too.
Did they?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I mean, bad on me, but like my X-Men knowledge is not great just because of that. It just never was on the radar.
I was we were talking to Chuck here. I wonder if you were still here, if you'd already left, but he was talking about, people bringing up X-Men. He said, "Man, I stopped reading X-Men in the 200s."
Yeah.
He goes, "I don't know who you're talking about." Like people bring up characters, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because he stopped reading it like a long time, like in the 80s.
Because they just, yeah.
But and X-Men has so many titles. They're actually coming up with, just so you know, they're coming up with another one. They're doing whole nother series.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't know what it's The Rise of X, I think is what it's called, or something like that.
Yeah, they're making X-Men a truck stop.
Which I think is a good segue here, and kind of kind of lead out of this whole podcast. But like I want to get into maybe next episode really talking about the state of comics. And the thing that I was really appreciative with Manage Comics bringing up, and he sees it from sort of like our side of the fence as much as anything, is how comics are ordered. So it's like it's hard to jump into even reading books, even if they are good, because of the way the system is set up to actually pre-order books and to make sure you get a copy of the titles, and why that's a predicament in the sense of, as shop owners, we're not taking risks on books that much anymore. When we're barely buying anything that's not pre-ordered anymore. And we're not the only ones doing that. Like everybody's doing that.
Well, yeah.
So if you don't get a pre-order in, you may not get a copy of that book. There's so many people come in and goes, I had a guy last night. Hey, you got a copy of number one of this? And I went, no.
Well, I was thinking about that.
Of it.
I was thinking about that last night because I was thinking, well, I mean, if that is strategy by the publishers to, just get us to buy more books and take more chances,
they're going to lose out because we're going to stop doing it.
Well, and we have, but if that's a strategy on their part, because people will come in here and be like, see a number one, and they take it home and read it, and they're like, oh, this is cool. I want to subscribe to this and get a number two, and they try to do that. Well, it's already passed. Their opportunity to reserve that has passed.
For whatever the reason, said we're going to order a few more copies of number two.
Right, but that's what I mean. They if it's a strategy by the publishers to get us to buy more on the front end.
I don't know if it's a strategy, and I'd like to pick this guy's brain about that because it could just be
because we used to take big chances.
It could just be because of the way the distributors and the publishers have been in upheaval for the last few years. That it's like it just is what it is, and nobody has sat down and like, hey, we need to really listen to what's going on the retail front and adjust. I just don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
So
the irony is that the publishers need us to sell their stuff, but they don't really communicate with us or really care what happens in our stores. So
they're very disconnected.
Very, very disconnected. So,
and the truth is, I don't think that they really. care because it's so corporatized. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, is this selling? Is it not? What do we got to do? Fix this, fire this person, do this, change this, make this work. I don't know. You know,
But it's a conversation for another day.
for another day, man.
All right.
What time is it? We got time? Yeah, we probably got to get off here.
We got, what is it, 10:30?
Yeah, we probably got to get ready to get the shop open.
Yeah, son.
All
All
right,
right.
son.
Well, cool.
This was fun.
This was fun. Check out all of these books, a lot of these new books at cadetstoys.com. And, order those. We'll try to get them to you. Our inventory gets all jacked up. So if that happens, we have to refund your money. Sorry. We're trying to work on that. So follow us on social media at Cadets Toys on Instagram and Cadets Toys and Comics. Cadets Toys and Comics on Facebook. All right.
All right, son.
All right, son.
Bye, son.
Bye, son.